For percussion, this lesson is covering the snare drum technique at the bottom of page 32B. Page 32B, snare drum technique. Okay? But I want to count through the lines and then we'll play them. So here's line A. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and. So I hope you heard my whisper on the rest. It's very important that you say what's happening on that rest. Don't just let that be a moment of blankness or you won't hold the space correctly. So it's much more obvious when we say it out loud while we're playing. So here's A, ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4. All right, B, ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3E and 4E and 1 and 2 and 3E and 4E and 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and. Playing, ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3E and 4E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and. C, ready and go. 1E and a 2 and a 3E and a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a 3E and a 4 and a 1 and a 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. So I'm just, rather than trying to whisper, I'm just going to point and that's the rest. Ready and go. 1E and a 2 and a 3E and a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a 3E and a 4 and a 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. It's awful hard to stop on a 4E and up. We want to go 0-1, but you can do it if you count. D, ready and go. 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and 1E and a 2E, 3, I'm sorry. Starting over on D. Blah. Ready? Go. 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E, 1E and 2E and a 3E and 4E and a 1E, 2E and a 3E, 4E and a. It's not quite so crucial that you say the rest when it's on the end of the beat, as long as you get back in on the beat. 2, ready and go. 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and 1E and a 2E, 3E and a 4E, 1E and 2E and a 3E and 4E, 1E, 2E and a 3E, 4E and a. Letter E. Remember we count rolls as sixteenths. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E, 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and a 1. So this is a straight 16th line, counting wise. The only question is, when do you bounce, when do you not? Ready? Go. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. And letter F. 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1 and a 2E, 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and. Ready? Go. 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and 4E and 1E and a 2E and 3E and a 4E and. It's the same thing over and over, once with a roll, once without, okay? And that covers the snare drum technique on page 32B.